Do you like the sound of a train chugging along while you sit in the back of a passenger cart freezing to death fighting over scraps with the rats? While you traverse the great lands of Siberia hoping you make it across with all your limbs intact. And I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is that you can shoot commies along the way. Bad news is you're not going to have all your limbs left over. Hey, it's Lando, and today I'm taking a look at The Last Train Home, a game set in World War I where you manage a group of legionaries of Czechs and Slovakians, embarking on a train to get home by any means possible. A mixture of Frostpuck and company heroes. They're known as the Czechoslovakian Oregon Trail. This is just too many words for me. I'm not going to get in much of the historical involvement of things, but all you have to know is that Russians, they don't like you. And you're trying to leave with a group of individuals by train that may not speak the same language as each other. Before jumping in and watching your troops get mowed down, you get to choose stupid amount of settings. Instead of using Duolingo, you could use the audio language Immersive for an authentic experience of learning 3 languages at once. Start the game and quickly learn that the Baba Yaga ain't no joke, to finding out the old woman warning you about it is actually the Baba Yaga. Don't get me started on the civilians using the force to move boxes. In the train aspect, you will manage your resources like fuel, food, metal, and other important items like cigarettes and vodka. Train starts out as a rundown Motel 6 on wheels, but upgrading along the way to be more like a Super 8. Send out squads to recover resources around the map. As far as I know, they won't get into any trouble with the Russians, but if it's cold, well, then good luck to them. While your train is moving, your squad may not be able to make it back unless you stop the train and have them catch up. But stopping the train will increase your threat level where the Reds are closing on your position. So far, I haven't found the threat level to be, well, threatening. I tested on what happens if you get to 100%. They just bomb the train and everyone is almost dead. Not good. Tons of points of interest to visit, although most are merchants, and let me tell you, I can't seem to get money in this game. However, I hit up everywhere else, choosing your best soldiers who are proficient in burglary to find food. Ah, shit. I ran out of fuel right before making it to the city. Well, I guess I have no choice but to visit these merchants and barter for fuel. Let's see here. Food. Uh-oh. I visited several areas and nobody is selling fuel. Being out of fuel is great as your troops have nothing better to do but eat up the whole food supply. In return, I'm going to burn their clothes for fuel. Train roles, your soldiers can have a sub-job, where when stationed on a train, they'll work various jobs. Cook, doctor, being useless, or whatever that needs to be filled with that one worker who gets injured every day. If a soldier has a job on the train, they can still go to combat, but they'll be leaving their train post. And depending on the situation, you could break your whole run as you have no able bodies to run the train. Usually most of your train residents will have a random combat role, but you can unlock other combat roles for them. Everyone can be a jack of all trades, but master of none. I recommend having one combat role and having every train role as possible if they have the stamina for it. Speaking of stamina, this shit sucks. Everything costs stamina. If a soldier has low stamina, they are tired and will perform worse. And at times, they won't do anything at all but sleep so they can't go to war.
Sorry, boss, I know we're getting shot at, but I'm tired. I'm going back to bed.
Yes, soldier, carry on. Morale is similar, where if you aren't feeding them vodka and cigarettes, they get depressed. If morale drops too low, they'll just jump from the train, leaving your command. Being in charge is interesting, as you have an advisor who is jealous and hates you, because you're the captain and they aren't. Food is probably the hardest resource to come by. You can buy pies or carrots or various food items, but they aren't food. Apparently, they fall under consumables, meaning they aren't really food for the whole company, but only for one specific person to cure their hunger. So I wonder what is food for everyone. If you decide to do half rations, your company will lose their minds and go hungry almost immediately. Supposing that if you get shot at in combat and have to take some time off to heal, well, fuck you. If they are hungry, they will not regain health. Instead, they will continue to die until you feed them more. I suppose it wouldn't be a big deal, except if they're below 80% health, they can't go into combat. Ah yes, combat. It's a little ridiculous. You can have up to 10 legionaries going to battle. Honestly, you don't even need that many. You can just get away with 1. I thought I'll be having these crazy firefight battles watching bullets fly. These things do happen, however the game punishes you for it. Everything is a resource, to the guns you're using to the ammo that you don't have an unlimited supply of. Each firefight you win is lowering your chance of survival. So what do you do instead? There's a stealth mode which you'll be using all the time. Russian soldiers' biggest weakness, Fortnite bushes with a Bowie knife. The enemy can only see with the red cone field of view unless you're in a bush. Doesn't matter if you're in cover or standing out in the open. If you're not in a bush, they will see you. Soldiers come up from behind and kill them instantly. This even works on big weaponry like a whole Hauser. Nobody will care, I mean they do, but they are just pretending that they didn't see someone just backhand a piece of artillery weaponry.
Must have been the wind.
What if the enemy is watching each other's back? No problem, run up on one, stab them, run to bush. The enemy will be upset only to forget about it a few seconds later and carry on with their lives for you to stab them shortly after. You can clear the whole map using this method, but it does take quite some time. To speed things up, use the scout class with the one-shot kill. The enemy will be confused on why some degenerate is standing out in the open with a rifle pointed at them. Back to the bush we go. Whoever is left will pretend you didn't shoot their comrade in the face. I guess dead bodies riddled everywhere is a normal thing in Russia. Your buddy you saw 1 minute ago is lying on the ground unresponsive in a pool of blood. They don't warn anybody or change their behavior like investigating the body or being more on edge.
Must have been the wind.
Playing the stealth route is the best, but very boring, unless you get to the dogs. Just kidding, dogs are just as useless. Your stupid dog is dumb. Firefights is all about who's in cover and what kind of cover. They will fire off rounds as if they get paid by the bullet that leaves the barrel. Using ammo is not good. I mean, I got 10 troops laying down rounds about 20 feet from them, and they can't hit this dude. Feels like Stormtroopers going at it. If your Stormtroopers in heavy cover, they are immortal. If they are out in the open, well, they're dead as shit. If both sides are in heavy cover, that means you need to use a godlike power like the bayonet. Don't worry, this skill is also broken where the enemy can't hit whoever is charging them.
What is this man doing? Is he charging me?
Don't use the grenade skill in firefights, as whoever is throwing a grenade needs to leave cover to stand out in the open looking to get shot. Every one of your troops will have unique biography. My best soldier suffers from everything under the sun except killing. That's the only thing he's good at, just don't have him do anything else. The game will teach you on stuff that you already learned about 20 hours ago, instead of teaching you on useful things like how to make gunpowder. The Steam reviews can be a little deceiving where some are upset that it may or may not be anti-communist propaganda. I haven't felt anything like that, but what I did feel is the game could get boring after some time. After about 20 hours, I felt it was getting stale, regurgitating the same thing over and over. My name is Lando, hope you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. I hope to see you in the next one. Laters.